Hello everyone, I'm Dr. John Gurban, PhD in Mechanical Engineering. Today I want to speak about the Bitcoin price in the future. According to the research done by Cambridge University. I hope you like this video. Okay. As I mentioned, I'm going to discuss the forecasting of Bitcoin price in the future. Regardless of your level of knowledge, the subject will be explained in a clear and understandable way. The scientific data I want to review and investigate in today's video is based on research conducted by the University of Cambridge and some other universities or researchers. After the scientific review that I do in this video, I try to find the fair price of Bitcoin for coming years. Okay. First, please pay attention to this figure. When we perform fundamental analysis of different types of assets, it is logical that we focus on supply and demand too. In this figure, the historical evolution of Bitcoin supply is shown from beginning to 2025. Bitcoin's issuance mechanism stands in contrast to traditional fiat systems. Please pay attention. Fiat systems means the systems that used in the past century based on banks, euro, traditional system. Central banks can adjust money supply. I mean, central banks create money easily, potentially leading to concerns about inflation. Bitcoin's issuance is governed by programmatic scarcity. Please pay attention. Very simple. This means that the total number of Bitcoins is constant. This fixed supply is one of Bitcoin's defining features. So, the amount of fiat money, such as dollar, increases over time and causes inflation, but Bitcoin's issuance is designed to decrease over time, as you can see in this figure. This gradual reduction is achieved through a process known as halving. So, very simple. Halving is the name of this process. Now, as you can see in this figure, the first halving can be seen in 2012, the second one in 2016, the third one in 2020, and the last one in 2024. This event is a core tenet of Bitcoin's economic model, ensuring that its inflation rate declines. Important advantage for Bitcoin in comparison with dollar. Okay, so supply is okay for Bitcoin. Okay, now demand. Let's focus on demand. Activity on the Bitcoin network grew from 2010. However, while active addresses, please pay attention that active addresses are key metric of network usage, which is shown on the vertical axis. Once indicated rapid growth, recent trends shows a plateau between 2020 to 2024, with numbers largely oscillating under 1 million, as you can see in the figure. Please pay attention carefully to this figure, which is done by Cambridge University. Okay. Please pay attention that many traditional financial institutions began to offer Bitcoin-related products. Fidelity, one of the largest asset managers in the world, launched a digital assets division in 2018. Similarly, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs began offering Bitcoin crypto-related products and services, marking a significant shift in institutional use towards Bitcoin. So, generally, demand is also okay like supply. Okay. New figure. Let's look at demand for other cryptocurrencies. Please pay attention. In this figure, the horizontal axis shows the years from 2010 to 2025. Here, each coin is shown with a color. As you can see, Bitcoin is shown with yellow, Ethereum is shown with green, Solana is shown with blue, BNB is shown with red. As you can see in this figure, in its early days, Bitcoin was practically the only major crypto asset, maintaining a market share above 80%. As the sole significant crypto asset, Bitcoin's dominance remained unchallenged for quite some time. However, this began to change around 2015, as you can see in this figure, with the advent of new tokens and blockchain projects. These emerging tokens offered various functionalities beyond what Bitcoin's protocol capabilities could support. Bitcoin could not support these functionalities, such as smart contracts on Ethereum. Bitcoin does not have this advantage. This figure shows that Bitcoin's dominance stood at approximately 56% in 2024, highlighting a gradual upward trend since 2022. Okay, let's look look at another picture about ETFs. Okay. Because in this part, we are focusing on demand for Bitcoin, it is logical that the ETFs of Bitcoin are investigated too. In 2021, the SEC approved the first Bitcoin ETF, and in January 2024, the SEC approved block ETFs, funds that hold the underlying asset directly. This triggered a substantial influx of institutional capital reflected in a rapidly growing assets under management, AUM. Let's look at this figure. The left figure first. Left figure shows the increasing in AUM, means assets under management in Bitcoin. Please pay attention. In Bitcoin, of spot ETFs from January 2024 to December 2024. Holdings surged from 0.62 million to 1.11 million Bitcoin, marking a significant increase of 79% over the year. Observing AUM from a US dollar perspective in the right figure. The increase becomes even more pronounced, rising from $29 billion to $104 billion, as you can see in the right figure. Please pay attention. With this rise, not only reflecting the increase in Bitcoin holdings, but also being driven by a rise in Bitcoin price over the same period because of the demand caused by ETFs. Okay, let's take a look at this new figure, demand 2025. Please look at this figure. This figure shows market value of gold and the market capitalization of major public companies compared to the total market value of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is shown with BTC in this figure. According to this figure and the above mentioned demand I told you, Bitcoin rank between some of the world's largest companies by market value. It's very surprising. Compare Bitcoin with Tesla, Meta, and other companies, other traditional financial service providers, such as JP Morgan, Visa at the beginning of 2025. Okay, now, important question. Bitcoin's relationship with equities. Okay, new figure. Now, question is that, is there any relationship between Bitcoin price and other assets? Okay, let's look at this figure carefully. In blue cells, the names of different equities are mentioned, and in other cells, the percentage of relation between two equities are shown in 2023 and 2024. The equities include S&P 500, Nasdaq, Bitcoin, gold, silver, oil, and dollar. The left side is for 2023 and the right side is for 2024. By looking at this figure, it is seen that in these 2 years, the best correlation can be seen between Bitcoin and S&P 500. And the worst correlation can be seen between Bitcoin and dollar. In other words, the increase in S&P 500 can be a great thing for investors of Bitcoin. But on the other hand, stronger dollar in the market can be the worst thing for them. Please pay attention that in these 2 years, the correlation between Bitcoin and Nasdaq was great too. Okay. We've spoken enough about supply and demand and correlation between assets. Okay, that's enough. It's time of answering this question. What is the fair price for Bitcoin? Okay? First method. Please take a look at this figure. First method for the prediction of Bitcoin price is based on the US money supply, M2. In this figure, the yellow graph is the Bitcoin price, okay? And the brown shadow shows the US money supply. The horizontal axis shows years from 2010 to 2025. The left vertical axis shows the Bitcoin price, and the right vertical axis shows the money supply in dollars. Now, what is the money supply? Money supply, M2, includes the most liquid forms of money, like cash, coins, and checking accounts that can be spent immediately, plus several less liquid assets. Okay? So, the researchers of Oxford University believe that the trend of Bitcoin is somehow related the US money supply in these 15 years. According to this figure, the first price for Bitcoin at the beginning of the 2025 can be considered less than $70,000. The important point is that the money supply is increasing in 2026, so the value of Bitcoin is increasing too. Please pay attention that in this figure, the money supply never reaches $22 trillion, but according to the last statistics that I have in 2026, this money supply passes $22 trillion. Okay, second method, cost of production of Bitcoin. Second method for the prediction of Bitcoin price is based on the cost of production of Bitcoin. The researchers of Cambridge University estimated the mean price of 48,000 to produce Bitcoin at the middle of 2024, as you can see in this figure. Be careful. This is not for 2026 or 2027. It is for the middle of 2024. Please pay attention to this fact that some other researchers predict other prices to produce Bitcoin. For example, for 2026, the produce of Bitcoin costs about $95,000 for some of the miners. Please note that this is the cost of production. So, price of Bitcoin should be trade higher than that. For example, 15%, 20% higher than that, higher than the production cost. It is obvious. So, it seems that based on this method for 2026, $80,000 to $90,000 can be considered good for buying Bitcoin. Okay, third method, network difficulty. Third method for the prediction of Bitcoin price is based on network difficulty. In this figure, the yellow graph is Bitcoin price, and the blue graph shows the difficulty level. The right vertical axis shows the numbers for Bitcoin price, and the left vertical axis shows numbers for the difficulty level. The horizontal axis shows the years from the beginning of 2019 to the beginning of 2025. Now, what is the network difficulty? The difficulty value of a network is usually expressed as a relative measure, indicating how much harder mining currently is compared to when the network launched. Okay? So, as you can see in this figure, in these years, the behaviors of Bitcoin price and network difficulty are close to each other. So the researchers of Cambridge University found the fair price of $85,000 to $95,000 for Bitcoin price according to the network difficulty for the beginning of 2025. In this chart, in this figure in this chart, the maximum network difficulty is about almost 100 trillion or 110 trillion, but in 2026, today, the network difficulty is reported to be more than 140 trillion. So, according to this new data, the first price of Bitcoin cannot be less than $100,000 or $110,000. Okay. An important note. You may tell me that you understand all the three methods, but you do not have these data in the future to predict the Bitcoin price for example, 2028, 2029. Do not worry about it. I will update all the required data about all three methods in the future videos. So you should not worry about it. Okay? And the conclusion section. The good price for buying Bitcoin based on each of these three methods are shown here, as you can see. These numbers may give you a good vision on the Bitcoin price and a good price for buying Bitcoin. Okay, I hope you liked this video and you enjoyed it. Okay, have a nice day. Thanks.